the national championship.
The Florida Gators have won the Southeastern Conference Championship. GatorZone is presented by Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Hey everybody, welcome to GatorZone. A big episode it is because we welcome back my partner, Megan Parler, who was on maternity leave and now is doing a great job as a mom of two. So welcome back. I bet it was fun.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I missed you guys a lot. I
Sure.
definitely missed the kids now, and probably last time you saw me, I kind of had a basketball here. But yeah, Miss Millie's here, so it's awesome being a mom of two, but it's great to be back with Gator Nation as well.
That it is, and always great to talk about Gator Nation. And of course, we're going to talk some basketball to get things started. And we're going to talk about student athlete from Iowa. Nobody has ever come from the state of Iowa and played women's basketball at the University of Florida. And when Haley Lorenzen came here, Florida got a good one.
Yeah, and definitely. She scored 1,000 points already in her career. She's only the 10th Gator to ever start 100 games. So here's more about her 4 years as a Gator. If you were to point to someone who embodies being a Gator, just like the song says, in all kinds of weather, it would be this senior class, and in particular, Haley Lorenzen.
The best part about it is, though, the part about being a Gator isn't just about the sport that you play. It's about the people that you're with. It's about the relationships you make. It's about making memories here. And it's not like it's all bad times just because we've had a few losing seasons or anything like that. You still grow as a player, as a person, as a student, and as a family member to your family and things like that, because you're growing in all these other factors of your life. And I think the reason we're all able to stay positive is because we actually care for each other so much.
Haley has always put people first. She cares about how her teammates are doing, and her fellow senior has always admired her for that.
Haley's big on family and relationships, and from the moment she got here, it's just been like that. Haley's a big relationship person, so me and her clicked off bat. Every year she has people who she just clicks with, because it's kind of hard not to click with Haley.
Lorenzen uses that passion for people to help lead her team, and she gets to be the good guy.
Haley's more of the nice one, so me and Haley kind of play bad cop, good cop. And most of the time, I don't mind being the bad cop because I know Haley is just too nice to try and be the bad cop.
So do you probably just describe that to a T perfectly? Like, I've just, I've always been more of the encouraging voice and someone that's gonna pick you up when you're down, because I know what it feels like to kind of be in your own shell and be in your own head too much, to not acknowledge what people are saying to you.
In her final season on December 27th against Delaware State, number 44 accomplished something only 25 Gators have done before: score 1,000 points. Leading up to the accomplishment, she wasn't focused on tracking it.
Like, my roommates and even my boyfriend were kind of like, you're you're right there. And I'm like, guys, that doesn't matter. Like, we're playing this team and I have to worry about, this girl likes to go over her right shoulder or her left shoulder. I hate focusing on my individual accomplishments. I've never really been one to be like, oh, I have to get this or whatever. I've just been blessed to have the opportunity to, be in this position and to have scored 1,000 points in my career here at the University of Florida. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without my teammates and all the coaches that, I've had the pleasure of having.
And after that three, Anderson knew she was trying to let it slide a little.
She tried to play it cool, but I know Haley. So I told her at the moment, I was like, yeah, hey, good job, baby. I'm proud of you. Seen all the points, so I'm proud of you. She tried to play it cool, but I know deep down she was very proud of herself, as she should be. I'm proud of her, and that's Haley. I'm gonna play it cool, but I know I'm excited person.
And like Dee said, I just kind of played it off because I'm like, okay, we're playing a game right now. This does not mean you get to stop. And of course, part of me is okay, so I'll show a little smile or get a little hyped up. And then, it was really fun to have Coach Cam call the timeout too right after I had made that three, and my teammates just celebrating with me. I think that was my favorite part, just seeing them get hyped up and having that kind of energy. That's really all I care about is them.
And as her time as a student athlete starts to wrap up, it wouldn't shock anyone that Haley gets emotional talking about the thing she'll miss the most: the people.
You know, it's really emotional. Obviously, you can see that I'm very emotional right now. It's like you said before, the 4 years here haven't always been the easiest. And they've pushed you to grow, and they've pushed you to love on one another for the person that they are and not the mistakes that they've made, or, you know, just by the good things they've done either. And so for me, it's gonna be so hard because, you know, after this year, you know, you're still part of the family, of course, but, you know, you're never gonna be in the same type of environment again where you have someone checking in on you every day, giving you hugs at practice.
And while the embraces won't come every day from her teammates, Haley Lorenzen has embraced being a Gator to the fullest. Well, it was awesome to see her recognized on senior day with all her family and the other 3 seniors. And just talking to Haley, the passion and heart she has for being a Gator is definitely unmatched.
Yeah, she'll always want to come back as a great alumni now, and that's exactly what happened with the baseball team right before the season started. About 20 guys came back and played a little alumni game. It was pretty sweet too because I mean, it was legit, throwing 90 miles an hour. These guys were really getting after it. You had big names like Hudson Randall and Tony Davis, Josh Adams, some of the Gator greats from way back when, and it was a really fun day. So here's a little more sights and sounds from Alumni Day.
It's been a blast, just the moment we got here, just seeing all the old buddies we played with, taking some BP, and then getting into the game and having some fun with these guys. It's been a blast.
You know, it's kind of hard to focus because the guys behind me, you know, they were cracking jokes, but they kind of paved the way for us. You know, like I said, it's just really fun to hang out with them.
It just brings back the old memories of the times we spent here at Florida, and you know, it's like, you know, like a brotherhood. You play with these guys for 4 years, and you're like brothers, and then it's like the guys coming up behind you go through the same thing, so you know what they're going through, and so you're pulling for them during the year when we're watching them, and it's good to come out here and have some fun and play against them.
It's been awesome being able to come back and hang out with everybody. You know, a lot of people have kids now, so getting to see their kids and their families and just kind of what everybody's doing, getting to see some of the players and stuff like that are still here and following their careers. It's just been an awesome opportunity to be able to do this, and can't wait for next year.
A lot of fun watching those guys, some great memories of them being out on that field and on the mound, and hard to believe that Sully's been here a decade now, and so many great players have played for him, and we'll see if he can have another great team as the season gets going.
Well, Jeff, we started our show with a senior and talking about alumni, but after the break, we're going to introduce you to a sophomore diver and a freshman gymnast.
GatorZone is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far. And by Gatorade. Win from within.
Hey everyone, and welcome back into GatorZone. Jeff and I hanging out at the practice pool outside the Stephen C. O'Connell Center, where the swimming teams and the diving teams are competing for championships right now, and they got a lot ahead of them in the postseason.
Well, it's nuts that here in February we can go jumping in right now, but it's awesome, and the swim teams are awesome. Diving team is tremendous, and they've got a sophomore named Brooke Madden. Came to Gainesville all the way from Indiana. She's legit, and here's a little more about her.
Sophomore diver Brooke Madden was very athletic growing up, and it was her brothers who actually inspired her love for the water.
My brothers were swimmers, so I would go watch their practices and I would see like other little girls diving, and then it looked a lot like gymnastics to me, so I just got into that.
In high school, Brooke was a multi-sport athlete, but due to a back injury she has had since she was 12 years old, Madden had to take a year off from the sport she loved, diving. However, throughout her freshman year of high school, she was able to find yet another sport she excelled at.
I wanted to stay active and just keep myself in shape, so my family obviously was just like, why don't you try swimming for a little bit? And I was like, okay, not a bad idea. I'll swim my freshman year just to stay in shape and then hopefully get back into diving, which I did.
Madden committed to Florida under former diving coach Dale Schultz. But even after he left, Brooke knew she still wanted to be a Gator. Now, working with Coach Brian Galuli has been a great experience for Brooke.
Brian's been a dream. He's a great coach. He's very personable with us. You know, he listens to us, and you know, I couldn't ask for a better coach.
Brooke had a successful first year in orange and blue. She totaled 5 wins on the season, competed at the SEC championships, and qualified for the 2017 NCAA championships. What Madden learned her freshman year has now helped her have a tremendous sophomore season.
Dramatic improvement in her level of maturity, really, that's what I see. I think she was pretty young last year when she came in, and it's been a 180-degree turnaround for her, I think. She's becoming a great leader. You know, works hard every day with a good attitude, and that's what we're looking for. And in 1 year, her change has been just remarkable.
I've just been so much more consistent in my diving. You know, last year I would go to meets and sometimes my dives would get 4s and then other times they would get 7s. So, and this year it's been the dives that I've been good at have been good almost every single meet, and my training has just been very consistent. I know when I can hit a dive, and I know dives I struggle with, and I work on those more. So I think the biggest thing for freshman year, I've become more consistent.
Even though she has to train and compete with a fractured vertebrae, Brooke Madden is one of the hardest workers you will find on this Gator team.
If I had to describe Brooke in one word, the word would be tenacity. That girl has the hardest work ethic I've ever seen. We'll be done with platform, and she's doing a second workout after our workout because she wants to get better. I'm so impressed with her, it's ridiculous. When someone has that ethic and is working overtime, it makes everyone else want to work just as hard, if not harder too. She's such a positive influence on our team and our culture.
She's a powerful diver who possesses a great deal of talent, and Brooke Madden has what it takes to reach the highest level.
She has unlimited potential as a diver. One of the best I've ever seen. Like I said, she came in after dealing with some injuries, and we're just scratching the surface of what she can be able to do. If she stays healthy and her mind stays right in this game, the sky's the limit.
For GatorZone, I'm Shelby Granat.
Well, thank you so much, Shelby, and we look forward to seeing what the swimming and diving teams do the rest of the season. And a team that does compete in Exact Tech Arena, the gymnastics team, as usual, having a great year, already knocked off #1 Oklahoma at the time, and the freshmen are making a big impact.
Yeah, they've got stud upperclassmen, but you're not going to win unless you get contributions from the young bucks, and this one is a good one. Alyssa Bauman, her name, came to Gainesville all the way from Dallas, Texas, and she's very good on the beams. She could probably walk across the flags there and not even fall into the water. That's how good she is. She's already got a 9.975 on her slate. So here's more about Alyssa.
She started gymnastics when she was just 3 years old. And in 2010, at the young age of 12, Alyssa Bauman started her elite gymnastics career. A career that lasted 6 years and was highlighted by a gold medal as a member of the U.S. team at the 2014 World Championships.
I feel like I accomplished a lot of things, and I have a lot of things to be proud of, especially my World Championships experience and some international assignments.
In June of 2016, Alyssa was training for an event she had been preparing for her entire life, the U.S. Olympic Trials. But just 10 days before trials, Bauman's dream of being part of the Olympic team was taken away.
I was doing a skill on bars and I peeled off and landed on my arm.
I got a phone call and it was Alyssa.
It dislocated and actually put it back in place myself, and I tore all the ligaments and muscles.
It got to a point where I was not able to understand her. Her mom got on the phone, wasn't able to understand Mom to a certain extent.
It was extremely painful, but it was more painful knowing that I just hurt myself, and I knew that something was really wrong and I wasn't going to be able to compete. And I'd worked my whole life for that, so it was heartbreaking.
Alyssa had a full reconstruction of all the torn ligaments and muscles in her elbow, a very extensive surgery.
It was an injury that they weren't sure she was going to be able to recover from and come back and do gymnastics.
Throughout everything, the bright light at the end of the tunnel for Alyssa was another dream she had, being a Gator.
I had been looking forward to it since I was 14 years old when I committed here, and so I just really used that as my new motivation to get back into gymnastics, get back my skills.
After years of waiting and months of recovery, Alyssa Bauman was finally a Gator gymnast. 555 days after her fall, Alyssa Bauman was back.
It was an amazing experience. It had been so long and it was really rewarding. I I think after all this time, I worked so hard to get to this point, and so to finally be able to show that I'm back to where I wanted to be was really rewarding.
To see her go out there and smile at the end of her routine, just that release, that relief of yes, I did it, was something that I will never forget.
Bauman may only be a freshman, but she has already made a name for herself on this team and this program.
She's just going to thrive. She's going to get better and better the more she starts competing, the more she figures out, what it means competing as a team and handling that pressure. Not only that, she's a great role model for this team, a great teammate, and one that everybody is going to remember.
There was a time not long ago when Alyssa Bauman was told she may never do gymnastics again. It took a lot of hard work, perseverance, and heart. But Bauman is back stronger than ever, having the time of her life as a Florida Gator. For GatorZone, I'm Shelby Granath.
Well, thanks again, Shelby, and we'll again get to see what gymnastics does the rest of their season and to SECs and hopefully make that Super Six.
No doubt. Well, the entire world got to see this guy named Trey Burton. He was a Gator way back when, and on the other side of the break, we're going to get in depth about the Philly Special.
GatorZone is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far. And by Gatorade. Win from within.
Hey everybody, welcome back to GatorZone. Jeff and Megan now at Steve Spurrier Florida Field, where of course if you're watching this, you're a Gator fan, and that means you had some rooting interest in the Super Bowl because there was a couple of Gators playing in the game, and one of them helped his team to victory. And it was such a memorable moment that they even gave it a special name.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. The Philly special, Trey Burton tossed a touchdown in the game, and our own Mitch Gerber got to catch up with him the day after the Super Bowl when he got back to Philly.
Well, it's not every day you get to wake up a Super Bowl champion, but a guy that got to do that today, none other than Gator legend and Super Bowl champion, Trey Burton. Trey, I know it's been a whirlwind 24 hours for you, obviously from the game to where you're at now, but just take me through it if you can and try to sum it up in words for us.
Man, it's crazy. I've been telling people this in the last 12 hours, I guess it is now. Just the city, Philadelphia just deserves this, the organization. It's just something special. The team, the guys, just everything combined, man, it's just a really cool experience. And man, I can't even really put it into words, how much fun it's been the last couple hours, and it's just really sweet.
I know you literally just got off the plane, and I'm sure the reception in Philadelphia, we've seen the videos, it's chaos there right now, obviously for good reasons, and hopefully everybody stays safe there. But what was that moment like when you walked off the plane and you got the entire city of Philadelphia behind you?
Man, walking off the plane was nothing compared to what they were doing at our facility, man. It was crazy, dude. They had like a tunnel, I would say, I don't know how long, probably like 2 or 3 football fields long of like tons of, you can't even like see past the people on the side, banging your car and pushing it around, and police officers are pushing people out of the way, and it was wild.
All right, so take me back to the game. The pass, would you ever in your wildest dreams when that game started imagine, obviously the play call was there, it was in the back of the playbook, but Trey Burton throws a touchdown pass in the freaking Super Bowl?
I've been elbowing my coach the last 2 games, trying to get him to call it whenever we were, in the same similar situation. And man, he's got some guts, bro. 4th and 1 on the 1-yard line for going into halftime, calling that play, bro. It's crazy, just thinking about it.
That moment when you got to hold the Vince Lombardi trophy, try to describe that.
Yeah, it's just the pinnacle of my profession. It's just something really, really cool, and not too many people get to experience something like that. So just trying to soak in every moment, and still, to this day, just all the phone calls, the text messages, and social media, and just how crazy everything's going. Just trying to soak it all in and enjoy it, because you never know, man, if you'll ever make it back here again, and just trying to take advantage of it now.
You mentioned reaching the pinnacle, obviously the Super Bowl. You're a world champion, but it all started back in high school. Then you go to the University of Florida. You get to run out in front of 90,000 plus, and there's so many people, obviously with National Signing Day coming up, wondering who's going to be the next Gator, who's going to be the next Trey Burton, ultimately go on and reach that pinnacle and win a world championship, put on that Super Bowl ring. Would you ever imagine when you look back at your time that here you are now, would you ever take that back?
No, man. No, I'm extremely thankful for one, the Gator Nation. just that we had a bunch of whirlwinds and a lot of things were going on, you know, when I was in my time in Florida. But there's no doubt in my mind that being a Gator and everything that means, you know, the Gator, the logo, just the community, the family, definitely prepared me for moments like this, you know, to win the Super Bowl and go out and compete at the highest level.
Trey, we're happy for you, and make sure to bring that World Championship ring back here sometime, and we'll have to catch up with you when you're back in Gainesville, all right?
Thank you, man. I'm excited to be celebrating y'all's SEC championship and national championship in the next couple of years. Really excited. Coach Mullen's going to get y'all exactly where you need to be.
There it is. Trey Burton with the words of wisdom. He expects a national championship here at the University of Florida. He's a world champion in 2018.
Well, now Trey Burton joins the likes of Rex Grossman as the only 2 Gators to ever throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Pretty sweet accomplishment. Well, we're going to try to throw a touchdown after the break when we return here on GatorZone. Well, since we're in Gainesville and not Philadelphia, we're not going to call this a Philly special. This is the old Gainesville special. We'll see if we can do it just as good as Trey Burton did. Set, hike! Touched.
Today's top plays are brought to you by Nike.
Now Chioza will inbound along the baseline. He's looking, gets it in for a sprinting Allen, who will launch three-quarter court. It's up, and it's good! Kayvon Allen from the parking lot gets it to go. A 9-point lead going into the break for the Gators.
A flare into center field. Horvath charging in. He dives and he get it. Yes, he did. A snow cone in short center field. Horvath charging in, makes the play, falling down forward.
So some nice plays there by the Gator Nation, but a really nice throw there by Megan. You must have been working out during your time off. I'm proud of you.
No, definitely not. I'm definitely no Trey Burton. The toss wasn't great, but my receiver, Nick Foles, really in this situation made me look good.
Dominated. Well, it's a dominating time right now for Gator Nation because there's baseball, there's softball, a lot of postseason stuff going on, and a lot to talk about on GatorZone, and we'll do it next week, but that's it for this one, but there's still plenty of ways to follow the Gators.
Yep, you can follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, so many places.
So do it. Listen to her, what she said. That's going to do it for this episode. For the wonderful camera work of Gareth Gutierrez, she's my partner.
Megan Parler.
I'm Jeff Cardozo. We'll see you guys next time.